Funsie?
It's just pure silence. Funsie podcast.
Yeah, what was
cool.
that?
Good intro, guys. Really good. We're hyped. We're doing it.
Actually, I have some beef to settle right off the bat.
Please.
I expected my Sajko hat sometime before this podcast.
Me too.
And I have not received any hats, but I have seen this hat all over social media.
Dude,
Me too, bro.
The boys in Funsie would have our hats, but no.
Yo, USPS, take it up with them. They must straight up hate you.
I gotta wear this instead. Like, bro, what the heck?
I was looking so forward to starting this podcast wearing my Sajko hat, but no, nowhere.
Dude, it has sorry, I guess. They were sent out. B, it really has warmed my heart to see people out there posting about them, wearing them, doing things. And there was only one person that I sent it out a little bit later because one of the hats had like a little bit of a scuffed up brim on it. But then I was like, hey, thanks for being patient. I'm going to send you a disc. I appreciate you waiting and supporting me. So that's out there. Maybe tomorrow. Who knows, man?
I'm excited to look like you, Sajko.
Dude, I hope you guys.
I want a refund.
I know that you guys said that you're not it's not your style per se, but I appreciate you guys doing it. I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing it, and I think it'll look pretty good.
To the point where
I'm excited to see it as well, for sure.
To the point where I don't know if this is mean, and I didn't say this to you or text you it, but I guess I'll say it on Funsie. To the point where I was like, I'll just like donate money to you as if I was buying the hat, but you could just sell, like you could get extra profit by selling my hat. But I was like, actually, no, you know what? It would actually be really cool to have.
That's rough.
Especially when you're big, dude.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to have it. But what I'm saying is I mean, look at me. It's just not my style, the flat brim 5-panel. I've never worn one in my life.
Oh, just bend it. But yeah, that's one heck of a sales pitch. Buy some
Is that
hats.
a thing I can do?
Yeah, I'm planning on bending mine.
And it will look like fine?
Yeah, that's all you do. You just bend it, man.
Did you
see Noelle? Noelle down in Charlotte, like when she had hers. I don't know if I mentioned that. That was a surprise to me. I didn't know that she had one. It was the test one. So Avery down at Another Round just gave it to her, and I was like, sick. And I don't think I've publicly thanked her, and I don't even think she listens to this podcast. But the moment that she posted that story, I probably got 15 more orders placed.
Wow.
They're like, hey, I saw this on Noelle's story. So thank you to her, sincerely, because the hats have been doing very well.
Noelle.
I believe her last name is Erb, E-R-B. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but she is on the Another Round team this year, and she just is like, I think, freshly graduated college. She's been making some cool content down in that area. So
she's filthy.
Cool to see some, for sure. Cool to see some female representation for like disc golf creators.
All right, that brings up my next piece of beef. I think we could do a little bit better job contextualizing some of the things we talk about.
Do you have an example?
I actually don't know what that means.
Well, like talking about Noelle, like everyone knows who Noelle is. I don't know who Noelle is.
That's a good point.
So
that's a good point.
Maybe just a little context there, or like, you know, anytime that Ben talks about some guy from Maple Hill that I haven't heard of, you know, I feel like we could just give a little bit of context before we talk about it, because as a podcast host, I feel left out of it. So I'm sure someone listening has even less of an idea what
guys.
we're talking about.
We'll give you context.
So, hey, comment down below if you agree with Jay Millie's take.
This is honestly,
if you disagree.
This is honestly awesome because you're literally asking me to yap more, and you're anti me yapping. So this is like, I'll take this. I will take this and run with it. I love it.
All we have to do, I was just listening to a podcast the other day, which is a surprise for me. I don't usually do it. But before they tell a story, they would be like, context. Or they would say part of the story and then be like, oh, wait, context. And then they would give a little bit of context. And then
I'm with you.
Like,
I'm there with you.
We got there.
I'm with you. I understand it. I understand where you're coming from.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got
there. It's a little weird that you don't know who Steve Dodge is, but I'm there.
Still no clue. This is the guy with the podcast, right? The 1 minute every day or daily disc golf or something.
Yeah, just the founder of the Pro Tour and owner of Maple Hill.
Just.
He founded the Pro Tour?
Yeah, no.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. What's he do for it now?
He's like smaller owner. Sold obviously a lot of his shares to whoever, But yeah, he's still part owner. And he owns Maple Hill. And if you've heard of Vibram Discs, he basically is the reason Vibram Disc. He was the guy that went to Vibram and said, "Yo, let's make rubber discs," and they said, "Okay."
Well, they're making discs now. So is he involved with that?
I don't think the re-up he's involved with, but the previous one, yeah, it was all Steve. It was like his brainchild. He's like crazy in a good way, where it's like he just throws things at the wall, see what sticks, and he's like,
why don't we have him on?
I love to have him on. I was at his house the
awesome.
other day just playing some board games. So like he's actually a good friend of mine. So I'd actually love to have him on. We'll have him on.
Is his full-time job disc golf, or does he do other stuff as well?
Full time. Well, yeah, he owns Maple Hill. Like he doesn't have to work ever again. He owns the number one course in the world.
Dude, I want to know how much money he makes from Maple Hill. That would be really interesting to know.
I would love to pick his brain.
Me too. I don't know that personally either. You know what's funny? Never mind. Actually, never mind.
Well, I know
how much Ben's gonna be like. Oh yeah, you know what? His house is worth $700,000, so I think he's doing just fine.
Yeah, callback.
Okay. Yeah. Well, maybe I'll say it. So a few years ago, when I was first playing disc golf, I was like 2021, and this was when Bitcoin had its first bump after 2017. So it was going up, and I'm talking to Steve. He doesn't really know me. He's like, yeah, I had 10 Bitcoin at one point, but he's like, I sold them all at like 500 already. So he had them like,
no.
And I was like, dude, oh my goodness, you like could have been a millionaire. And then he's like, yeah, I could have.
Especially now.
And he was like, yeah, I could have. And then I'm thinking to myself, like, founder of Pro Tour.
You're like, he just played me.
I was like, he might already just be a millionaire, and he just like
probably is.
Yeah, and he was like just being respectful to me. So I was like, okay, I'll take that. So that was just a funny little story that I remember thinking like, wait a second.
Josh, I don't know if you heard a couple months ago when so Steve Dodge, he had the take of he doesn't believe past the teeing surface that you should be able to follow through your lie. And
oh yeah, I
know,
see a video of some guy saying that. That's him.
Yes.
On whose podcast?
I'm assuming.
I saw a clip of it.
Well, he was on Staggered Stance and mentioned that, but I know he's mentioned it a couple other times as well. So I can't say for certain that it was, but more than likely it probably was Steve Dodge that you saw. So he had that take.
Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say he had that take, and I know a lot of people were not afraid to give their opinions on what he had to say.
Yeah, for context, I think I understand it fully, but his take was off the tee, you can follow through, but anywhere outside of that, you cannot go past where your disc came to rest. So like off the tee, you could throw and, go off the tee because you're driving. I think his comparison was regular golf where with their drive, it's different off the tee, but past that, you would not be able to jump putt, or you would not be able to like fall over your disc if you're running up and throwing on a par 4,
or even just follow through, finish your throw.
Wait, like
I thought that's what he's saying. Like you just stop. No, that's what he was saying.
From what? Oh, really?
I swear
from the video I saw, I thought he said that like you just couldn't go past your disc like with your body. And I was going to be like, I saw people hating on him, and I thought it was stupid that people were hating on him. I don't think it's that bad of a take.
Mine.
They're going to hate on us.
I'm a little bit more. I don't disagree. I like the idea of what he's saying, but
you like the essence.
Yeah, there you go. The essence.
For context.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of like people were talking about how they might get injured. They could see injuries
100%,
rising.
1000%.
But then at the same time, you could say, well, don't throw as hard, I suppose. But then that kind of makes the sport a little less appealing if you're just watching
Yeah.
guys throw to the point of like playing pass. So,
Well, I don't like necessarily. I wouldn't say I agree with the take, but when I saw the hate first. I saw that people being like, "Oh, this guy said this, and this was so stupid, and he's the worst, and blah blah blah." How has he even found the disc golf pro tour or
yeah,
something?
right.
And I was like, "Oh, this must be horrible." And I went and watched the video, and from my understanding, it looked like he was saying just like, you could follow through with your arm and you just couldn't fall over your disc, like it's very common for me on a par 4 or even like an approach sometimes to like run up and throw my disc and then just like keep running or, step forward or whatever. And the way it seemed to me was like, okay, moving forward, I would just have to like stop at my disc and, my arm could follow through, but I just couldn't step over my disc. And if I stepped over my disc, that's where the foot fault would come in. And like, I don't know, like, I don't think, like, I feel like we're a little far into our sport to implement something like that. But like, I saw the merit behind it. And so I was like, oh, wow, I don't really understand why people are hating on this so much. Like, if his actual take is your arm has to stop, like right here, then I'm like, okay, yeah, people are going to get injured. It's silly. That seems so arbitrary. It doesn't make any sense. But if his take is, yeah, you can still follow through. You just can't like fall over your disc or step over your disc. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, we'll have to see what he defines based on saying, and maybe I'm remembering incorrectly, but I could have swore he said not follow through past your lie. So there's a lot up in the air, and maybe we can ask him when or if we have him on.
So yeah, I'm only saying what I'm saying because I just saw people upset because of the injuries, and I'm thinking to myself like, you only get injured if you're not following through. So I think people took it as you're not allowed to follow through. Like you have to just like stop. Like
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I saw people take it like that, and then when I watched the video, I was like, oh, this is not what he's saying. They just misunderstood what he's saying.
Maybe then I think I was in like LA for Beast Games during that time, so I wasn't there listening to it.
I think when he says follow through, he means like your feet. If he means like your arm follow through, dumb take.
Yeah.
Brain dead take.
Well, we'll have him on the podcast to clarify. How about that? Next week, hopefully, or something. Oh, there we go. Next weekend, actually, 2 weekends, is Disc East Expo. So if you plan on coming, now's the time. We got Paul Macbeth, Anthony Barella, Gannon Burr, Simon, Paul Krantz, Casey White, James Proctor. A lot more people.
Perfect segue. Oh, sorry.
It'll be nice just to meet these people in a context that isn't them at a tournament, because half the time when they're at a tournament, I'm like, I know they kind of want to interact with people, but simultaneously it's like, I don't want to bother them. And at the same time, like if they're playing, even more so, I'm like, I don't want to be like, yo, what's up, dude? So this seems perfect. I'm excited to go meet a bunch of people.
It's encouraged to go talk to them.
This is your perfect time to sell yourself, Sajko, and say, hey, I will edit for you for $1 million. And then you will be making so much money.
Approximately $1 million
per hour.
Wow.
But what I was saying earlier, perfect segue. What's going on with Disc East right now? What's Bracken? What's Bracken been?
Dude, you're rolling them out right now.
Yeah.
So
what last few announcements, what's stressing you out? Anything you can drop right now,
So Paul Macbeth on Stagger Sands yesterday is announced he's officially coming, and they're dropping some like confetti something lunas and Z swirl glow lunas. So
they're just throwing everything at that.
Every buzzword possible.
Yeah.
Z swirl confetti glow luna. Wow.
Well, confetti's separate. It's like something confetti and then a Z swirl glow luna. So I'm thinking it's the another round same North Cove lunas just with glow, or better known as the 2020 Tour Series Luna.
SMH. So another round, calling them out. Propaganda saying that it was the last time it was ever being run. If this is facts.
No, it's Glow.
But if it's like the same thing, it's the same thing still.
Not
Yeah, but if there's other additives, I feel like
it
probably creates variables.
It's not the same thing at
but
all.
for Discraft, Glow is just an additive. It doesn't change anything. It's just an additive. It's not a new plastic.
I'm sure you're right.
I'm low key messing around. Like I'm just,
dude.
Just
I hate this guy. I hate this guy.
Sajko with the another round is
Yo, I'm so mad. So mad.
Where's my armory hat? We're about to beef.
Yo, Armory will be at Disc South. So
yes, sir.
And
yes,
maybe
sir.
Jay Millie. We'll see. I'm not sure
the
yet.
squad all together,
and they're
gonna
gonna have
so
the 2020 Z Swirl Lunas for the second time. No, just kidding.
So Discraft is going to drop something exclusive at Disc South too. Different, completely separate. And what's crazy is, so each VIP ticket member gets an exclusive VIP disc. I know what the VIP disc is for Disc East. The MVP is going to do a separate VIP disc for Disc South exclusive. So it's going to be very rare, very sought after. And so if there's a lot of things going on, to answer your question, Jay Millie, am I stressed?
Let me ask you another question first.
Yeah, go.
Am I VIP enough to get one of these discs?
I don't, maybe, because I really gotta think of like what's the fairest way to do it, and I think the fairest way is just letting the people get it, you know what I'm saying? Because they're that limited. That's why I'd really have to think about it, see like if we have leftover, because the last thing I want to do is, not let the people and attendees have this disc. But maybe if there's any left over, other than that, I unfortunately just can't give this specific disc away because I
thought I was a VIP for the event. I'm not a VIP.
You are a very important person. You're just not a VIP ticket holder. No, you're a vendor. You're literally a vendor. It's different.
Ben, I have to ask: will Simon will he have his guitar there that he won from Music City Open like last year?
Probably. I mean, I can mention him to it.
That's my biggest regret from last year is not being able to play that guitar because I wanted to do a video with it really badly.
Yeah, I'll mention
something.
He still has the cutout and everything, so I'll mention it. And he has two, so maybe he brings both of them, or he brings the new one this year because he won again this year. So yeah, if I were to say, I'd say yes, but like I honestly have no idea what his plans are.
Simon and I could play guitar together just in one moment. Like, I don't care what the song is. I'll learn it in 10 minutes. That's my superpower. It's just like my music brain. Hear a song, can learn how to play it.
Wow.
That would be a dream. Wait,
yeah,
sorry, Josh,
at the
I
Expo.
missed that.
I'm just memeing.
Oh, dude, I'm
in
so
a
sick of this
mood.
dude.
Sorry.
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, Funsie's done after a year.
No,
Wait.
This is the definition of Funsie, dude. I'm having some Funsie.
That's what I'm
right now.
saying. I'm glad
We're
you guys are
killing it.
finally kind of just like letting it just loose, realizing we're just fun, man.
Oh, I can't wait until
Okay.
year 2 where we're telling each other to just swear words that just way over the top, and everyone's like, "Oh, okay."
No,
No.
one of us rage quits mid-episode. That's gonna be
Ooh.
a fun one. Yeah.
That would be fun.
That'll absolutely never happen. Absolutely never happen.
Yeah, we all seem pretty easygoing.
Yeah. And we have fun. And it's funny because this is literally the only time I ever talk to you guys. So it's like weird.
So
it's like
true.
this is also like our hangout session for the week because I literally don't talk to you guys outside of this podcast right here. Obviously, when I'll see Sajko at the Expo, but other than that, I haven't seen Sajko in like a decade, honestly.
Yeah, dude. Hit me up when your hat comes in 5 months.
For real.
Okay. So for context, we are going back to Jay Millie's question that he
Thank you.
that he
Thank
answered
you.
me.
I would have been confused otherwise.
So am I stressed? January 1st, I was very stressed for some reason. Felt like felt like I was so behind, like, oh my goodness. And then I just grinded for like 2 days and I was like, oh, like that's really all I had to do. But I don't know, as an entrepreneur, I'm sure you guys are sort of entrepreneurs in your own right. Obviously you don't own a business, but I'd argue that content creators are definitely entrepreneurs. Where it's just like you always feel like, you know, you're kind of behind, whether it's like on the video or whatever. So I was like, oh my goodness. But then, you know, I've been just buckling down. I have my laptop every single day, working really hard. I just sent the final booth layout to my vendors today. And after that, all there's left to do is just announce, have all the major companies announce and get people hyped. The biggest, so I'm not really that stressed right now. The biggest stress for me, the next step, I guess, now that I have all the vendors filled out and we're basically sold out, is going to be one, the VIP tickets. I want to make sure everyone is in at the, you know, within, I ideally want everyone in at 9 a.m., but like 9 to 9:05 to really, you know, allow them to get that free extra hour in the expo to get all their exclusive stuff and meet the pros with a less crowded floor and the disc. So I need that. That's a big stressor that I need to make sure goes well logistically. And then the second part, and then I'll have another thing, is just getting the general admission in. But once they're all in, then that's when it's like, okay, like I can I did it. That's officially when I can start kind of like, you know, being confident that this is awesome. But as of right now, you never know what's going to happen. So I wouldn't say I'm stressed. It's just, it's that underlying stress that I just have every year, 4 to 5 months before the expo, where it's like, I got to work on the expo. I got to do this. Oh my goodness, is the expo going to work? Oh, who's going to come to the expo? Where it's just like, I just think about it like once or twice a day where it's like, oh, like what is going to happen? But I'm at the point where I did a lot of work and I'm happy with it.
I have a question that I just thought of. Did you think at all about putting Disc South before Disc East? And for context, I feel like, you know, like Disc East has established, you know, it's proven success. It's, you know, proven to work up in the East where you guys are, which I think is a completely different disc golf scene than down here in Texas. Like, I feel like y'all's disc golf scene with the team challenge and all that stuff is a little bit more community based. And down here in South, it's just like a little bit more spread out. Like there's a lot of communities, but it's not as intertwined or whatever. And so I feel like maybe there could have been some validity there of doing Disc South first and like getting maybe more of the exclusive drops. And I don't know, like I feel like there could have been something there. Did you think about that at all or no?
So I have like three answers to that question, why it wouldn't work. One, me changing the dates to Disc East later just doesn't make sense. People know it's the last weekend in January, and that's when they can expect it from now on. Two, I wanted to get Disc South right before Waco, that off week before Waco. Didn't work out this year, but that's the plan. For like, I'm trying to have it so all the top pros are flying into Dallas, and I'm like, hey, if you want to make a couple extra $1,000 and hang out with your fans, like come to Disc South. That was my goal initially. And then they'll just go to Waco that Monday and go practice. So it didn't work out this year, but that's another reason I did Disc South when I did, because it's the start of Texas Swing. I wanted Disc South to be the official start of the attendees and the fans Texas Swing. Where it's like you go to Disc South and then you go to Waco to watch the pros. And then the third reasoning is because if I were, instead of changing Disc East dates, if I say were to do it in December, I mean, it doesn't make sense. It's Christmas. If I was to do it like early January, it just really doesn't make sense. End of the disc golf season is dead. It's dead. No one's buying anything. No one ever cares. But beginning of the year, it's alive again because everyone has that cabin fever. Like, I mean, you can just see it at certain Pro Tour events. You know, towards the end, people are just kind of like, you know. I mean, what is your experience with you went to Charlotte? You went to the Pro Tour Championship. Was there a lot of people there? Or was it kind of just like, you know, it was just kind of like they just had to do it to do it?
Well, I feel like that's a bit of a unique
weird one.
case because it's the week after USDGC. It's in the like almost exact same spot,
Well, that's what
and
I'm
it's
saying.
an event
That's
that
why.
people already don't care about that much. I will say, like, it's a conglomerate of reasons. One of them being the end of the season, but there was supposed to be like a vendor village the day before the like lead card, like the night before. Not lead card, the day before the final round. And we went and we were the only two people there.
No.
And so they just shut it down. And like, you know, we saw Calvin walking off and like, it was just crazy. Like
You were trying to vend?
That's tough.
No. We like showed
wow.
up like 15 minutes late and I was going to film something like going around looking at disc and stuff. And, we couldn't see anyone, and we saw Calvin walking off, and one of my friends walked up to him and was like, dude, do you know where Vendor Village is? And he's like, yeah, I showed up. Like, there was no one, so they just shut everything down. So
shout out
that's
Calvin.
how dead it was.
For the fans.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've talked about, yes, 100% USDGC has a reason to that. It kind of just like for vendors especially, where it's like that's the big vendor village, like everyone gets in for free and stuff like that. Where it's just like that's the big one. So the Pro Tour being the week after, it just that's why
tough look.
People have told me to like do an Expo like in October, but it's just like it just doesn't make sense for disc golf. It's you got to do it in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I don't know. Like that makes sense. I'm just wondering, like, well, first of all, I've heard you talk about weather a few times when it comes to having Disc East in January. So I'm just wondering, hey, what if you did Disc East closer to the season and then did Disc South at the end of January? Because, you know, it's like, 50 degrees here right now, 60 degrees, sunny. Like I'm playing disc golf. Like I went and played disc golf yesterday. That's one reason I was thinking about.
That is not a bad point.
And then another reason I was just thinking about is just, I feel like I definitely think Disc South is going to be a success, and I think you can continue to expand over the long haul, long term. I think having an expo in every area of the U.S. is going to make sense. But I'm just wondering, like, I feel like since there was one disc golf expo, Disc East last year, and the year before, right? It's been a few years.
Mm-hmm. This will be the third.
I feel like there were people that, I can say I'm sure that there were people who flew out for the event. And so I'm just wondering, you know, if you had done South first and maybe tried to build it up a little bit more, it could have been like a more I don't know. We haven't seen the event yet, so it could be super successful.
Yeah, no.
Doesn't matter at all. But I'm just wondering if people would have, you know, made it more of an effort. Like some of those people you could have gotten to go to Disc South if it was first are probably still going to go to Disc East, you know?
I don't know. Well,
just a thought, for sure.
That part, is not like, it's tough to say. And
for sure.
I don't think that would be the case personally, just because it's being a first year show. It's like, we know Disc East. Like, I think here's my counterpoint. Disc East is going to give people FOMO, and the marketing there is going to be crazy. That's going to make people want to go to Disc South. That's what also a part of the reason I'm kind of like banking on is people are going to see all the cool things at Disc East, be like, oh, I need to go to that. Oh, well, you can now because we're bringing it to the South. And like, we already have some incredible vendors for the South, and we're going to have some of the biggest influencers in disc golf there. Obviously, you're hopefully going to be there. But there's some announcements that I haven't even announced yet. So that's going to be crazy. But we already have vendors like Discraft, MVP, Infinite Disc is coming to Disc South. They didn't even come to Disc East. So they're coming to Disc South event. There are are also some disc golf manufacturers, some big disc golf manufacturers that have confirmed with me that they plan on coming, and I do give a discount for people that vend at Disc East and Disc South. So they have paid me for the discounted rate at Disc East, but I just don't want to say anything too early to be like, oh, this company's coming, when they've confirmed me, and then last second they're like, no, the people that I've said are coming are ones that like have semi-contracts and are officially all in. So Discraft, MVP, Infant Disc. For manufacturers, we also got Armory, DD Carrollton, and a ton of Hooligan Discs will be there. So we a ton of just Texas-based brands, which I'm very excited for. If you go to Disc South, you can kind of see discsouth.com. You can kind of see the vendors that have signed up so far. We're going to get Max Disc Tints there. Apparently his headquarters is like 10 minutes from there. And so it's already successful. It's just, the people just got to show up. And I know they will, because they're going to see Disc East. They're going to see how amazing it is. And that's why I brought it to Dallas. You say the community down there is spread out, but I brought it to Dallas because it's one of the biggest disc golf communities I've heard of. You know what I'm saying? It's just,
I have no doubt that people are going to show up and show out for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It'll be good. I know it'll be good, and maybe in the future, if weather hasn't affected me, Lord willing, doesn't this year, but hasn't affected me, and it kind of plays on cabin fever. You know what I'm saying? Disc East in January works because people are freezing. They have nothing to do, and they want to play disc golf. They love it. I did it in March the first year, and people weren't going to make it because there was already tournaments and stuff like that. So the real reason I brought it to Texas, one, the community, and two, I was just hoping, weekend before Waco, and eventually that is going to be the goal. And that perfect storm was just like, it just made sense, where pros were already going to be there. So might as well just drive 30 minutes north to go to Disc South. Not from Waco, from the airport.
Okay, I was like 30 minutes.
Yeah, from the airport.
Correct, sir. Waco
I know Waco, but Waco's not even that far. It's like
no, it's not. It's
like
not.
an hour and a half. So it's not even that far.
I was like, what? 30 minutes? No.
That's chump change for them.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, you seem to be handling the stress well.
Yes.
It seems
I'm
like
happy,
a
bro. So the biggest thing is I'm happy. Like these companies that come to my expo, they just show off and show out, and they care about the disc golf fans. They care about the community, and they're bringing their best discs, their best pros, their best discounts, all that. So there are things in the background right now that will actually blow your mind that I haven't even announced yet, guys.
Blow your rind.
It's gonna blow your mind.
My rind is gone, dude. It got blown off.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, there's some announcements coming that is gonna blow your rind. Okay, and
let's go.
And you
first
think,
merch,
and I don't know. You would think all the things that I've already have going on and announced are it, but no, it's even further. You'll see.
Ooh.
You will see.
big things coming 2025.
Yes,
2025 finna be a movie.
It is.
My
I'm
life,
excited, and I'm getting
movies.
married. Let's go.
Yeah.
Anyways, enough about me. That was a
Dude,
long
that
session.
$25 Amazon gift card you're getting is gonna go crazy. That's a joke. It's not gonna be a $25. All right. Anyways.
All right, maybe it'll be 50. Okay.
Boys, I have a game.
Okay. Game.
Yes.
Game. So we're gonna go through speeds 1 through 13 for discs. Not 14, because I could probably count on. I've probably only thrown like 2 14 speeds. Doesn't seem worth it. So
why not 14? 14's easy.
Well, you haven't heard what the context of the game is yet.
I think I know it.
Callback context. I'm going to give you 3 discs. I'm going to give you 3 discs from each speed category. And then in that, I just want you to choose which one that you would go with and why. It's pretty simple, straightforward,
Okay.
but still fun. Kind of get some insight on what your game is and preferences, and we can roast each other. All right.
Bet.
1 speed, pretty straightforward because it probably has one of the most limited number of discs. Berg, Glitch, and Polecat. What would you choose?
What about the Dillo from Lone Star Discs?
What is the context for this? Is this like what I would bag, or is this like my favorite disc?
I assumed you would ask that, and as long as you explain why you choose it, I think it's fine. Unless you're just like, this is what people would choose, so I want to choose that. I think that's kind of a lame way to go.
I would choose Glitch just because I like the disc, but I would choose Berg if this is like tournament wise, and like I have a ton of people that use the Berg that I know and do it very well, so I would choose a Berg in that sense. But I'd go with Glitch.
So you're
around.
a sheep? You're sheep?
Wow.
You just follow what the people do?
Yeah,
I don't
what's it
bag
like
a Berg, so no. I actually like I've thrown a Berg 3 times, so
I'll go Polecat just because Ben didn't pick it.
Yo, get wrecked, dude.
I
would also go Berg.
I do look like a sheep, though.
I would go Berg. I remember learning like a sidearm, and I would throw that on like a straight downhill hole, and it blew my mind. I was like, hold up, am I a genius?
Dude, it's shockingly stable. Like it holds up.
It's cool. It's a lot of fun.
Sick. I think the Berg for sure. I just think it's a unique disc. It's really interesting. I bagged it for a while. Maybe I'll add it back to the bag just because you asked this question.
Who's a sheep now, buddy?
Straight up.
Bagging the Berg? I've never bagged the Berg. I've never
bagged the Berg. I'm going to be the first to bag the Berg. I'm not sheep.
Bag the Berg. Well, yo, what's it like looking in the mirror every day, dude? 2 speeds. P2, AVR, and Judge.
P2.
Team P2 as well. Oh, that's right.
These are the only options, or these are the only discs that are two speeds?
I guess if you have one off the top of your dome piece, you can add it. I guess if you would like to. These are just kind of. I more so kind of gave. We'll call it like maybe well-known. Ones of like each category. I suppose.
we probably should pivot because I think that would be cool. All of our own personal favorite. Obviously the Berg and Glitch, but I think that'd be cool. I'm still sticking with P2, but I think if Jay Millie has another one, that'd be cool to hear. If you have another inner core.
Yeah, and before you say that, I chose. Sorry, that got me. Going through these, I didn't want to just give like, oh yeah, choose whatever, because I feel like half the time that I just give that like open ended, we're all like, oh,
that's valid.
I at least wanted to provide some sort of examples.
No,
but like I said, if you have some, go for it.
I love it.
Yeah, I would say P2 or inner core. I mean, I putt with the P2, so I feel like it'd be hard for me not to pick the P2, but I also love me an inner core. So it's definitely not an easy decision for me.
Yeah, I'm going P2
You're going
as well.
P2. I'm sorry. If you putt, your putter is like the disc you use the most, so you're going P2.
Well, what if I forego 3-speed so I can have two speeds?
No, that's not.
We're going so in depth now.
Stop breaking the game.
It's like, yo, dude.
Nope, that's how it works.
Bro, hypothetically, if we, let's not go down that road. So,
I think we should definitely go down that road.
He's memeing. Man. He's memeing.
All right, man. 3 speeds. No one saw this coming. Luna.
I don't even know a 3-speed. Oh.
Luna, Envy, and PA3.
This is. I was gonna say I appreciate this, Sajko, because you're right. I would have been like on this 3-speed, so I appreciate the options.
Dude, when Josh talked about context, we ain't messing around now.
I'll go Envy, bro. It's a good overstable putter that I like throwing. That I don't throw actually ever, but I would like throwing it if I did.
To no surprise, I would go PA3 because it feels good to throw and putt with, and they come in a trillion plastics. Definitely not. Although I'm a decent putter, but yeah, obviously not Gannonburg.
Yeah, I've never used a PA3. I've heard only good things. If I had to pick out of those 3 options, I'd pick the Envy.
That's probably the most popular.
Times, and I liked it, but I don't bag it or anything. It's good.
Actually, now that I think about that, what do you think would be the like more popular in people's bags, Lunas or Envies?
I'd
It's
say
tough.
Lunas. It's just the hype. The hype behind Discraft is just too much.
I think
I
it
mean, they
started
literally-
Lunas.
You think
when
it's
they came
over
out.
MVP? I feel like they're comparable.
Yeah, probably comparable nowadays, but I don't know. MVP didn't sign King Climo, so
I
Discraft
feel like
technically didn't sign Ken Climo either. He just has
okay.
his
You're
own
right.
line.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I feel like the envy after James won and like all the signings that have been happening the last couple of years, it like really rose. And now you look at Discraft as like a superpower, and I think the Luna's probably starting to like sneak back up past that. So that would be my guess.
The Luna was definitely it for a while because I remember
100%
at one
is,
point.
like, so popular.
I remember at one point you literally just couldn't buy a putter plastic Luna. Like I wanted to putt with Lunas and I couldn't find them anywhere. They were
COVID,
always
baby.
sold out. Yeah, and now that's not the case, but who knows?
I'll
Would be
admit,
an interesting
I
thing
did
to
it
look
as
at.
well. I putted with Lunas for a little bit, and they were like $20 a pop or whatever they ended up being.
They were pretty
They
pretty
were
expensive
so
for a putting putter.
expensive.
I recall
Yes.
being on hole 14 at Maple Hill, and for listeners that don't know, that is the terrifying over the water shot, and then you have to like fade left for like a righty backhand onto land. And I was like more so left looking at the water, and I was like, okay, dude, I'm gonna putt. So if you could just like go behind the basket and catch it. He's like, I got you, man. I got you. I putt. You already know where it's going. He doesn't even, he's just like, I don't even, yeah, does not like catch it or anything. Just watch it. He's
Doesn't
like, oh,
even
dude,
attempt.
I didn't even see that coming. I'm like, we talked, we made eye contact and talked about this. And this is before I had a disc retriever. So yeah, $20. That's a really good way to lose it. Four speeds.
I've lost a lot of money.
Zone.
Yeah.
Zone.
Zone. I had to throw the rock in there because there's not too many like really good.
I didn't realize the rock
speeds.
was a 4-speed.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, huh?
That's a
Get
mid-range
good.
to me.
Get good.
Wow.
And A2. So kind of A2 kind of giving
Where's your
you a
love
run
with
for money.
Prodigy, bro.
A2 for sure is in that category. Like if there is another disc like 4-speed that sets itself apart from other approach discs that are like zone-esque, I feel like that's the one.
No, yeah, I'm just kidding. I literally couldn't list another 4-speed. I was just saying because you said PA3 and A2. I'd go zone, though. I'm guessing you go A2.
No, I would actually probably go zone at this point.
Okay.
I've had it in my bag long enough that I know like how to manipulate angles.
Wait. Are you planning on releasing Sajko stamped Prodigy disc? I saw like maybe like an inspiration, maybe, or
No, so I'm assuming. Let's shout out
Mad Discs.
Mad Discs. I got to meet him when I went down to USDGC. He's in the like Carolinas area. He's a disc dyer, and he was like, "When you come down here, I have like a gift for you." And he's like, "What kind of disc do you like?" He gave me a Wraith that he has like a really cool, unique stamp, we'll call it, that he likes to
Like
stencil
flower
dye
thing?
on. Yeah, it looks super cool.
Yeah,
and he
looks
just
awesome.
gave that to me straight up, and I was like, this is unreal. So ever since then, he's been hooking me up like hats, and then I think he listens to the pod. Beanies. I think he listens to the pod because we talked about, I think, doing some like Sajko stuff. And why is this man laughing?
I don't know. Because Jay really went beanies and you went beanies and then went back to talking.
Beanies.
Like nothing ever happened. You're like, yeah, so I just went beanies and then I went. Anyways,
he saw the logo. He's like, hey, send me that. And he just started doing like the PA5. He did it himself, and he did like a servo for me as well. And I'm waiting for those to come in the mail.
Yeah, they look sick.
don't throw those. Are you going to throw those?
I'm going to throw the PA5, but the servo will be held on to.
At least hold on.
Wall
to
candy.
Because as we know, I enjoy the PA5 very much. So yeah, it's super cool. Like all these people just being receptive to this thing that like Kiara made, and like we've talked about way in the past. You're like, do people care? Do they notice this stuff? They do. and it's cool to just see it get it just grows with us. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, bro. It's to kind of quick tangent. It is kind of crazy just how much people that I guess we always say this, but the numbers, like we got 328 views on our last podcast only on YouTube. And that's not a lot of views YouTube wise, but that's 328 different people. And then you realize that's 328 different lives. And that's a lot of people. That's like a whole gymnasium of people that know who you are and listen to you that you have no idea. To some extent, obviously I do know some people, but most of the time it's I don't know. So it's kind of crazy.
Did we all go zone?
Yes. Zone.
Cool. 5-speed Buzz MD3 Rock 3. I was an MD3 guy for a long time.
Yeah.
And like I mentioned, watching Austin Turner play, I was like, actually, throw all these away. I'm a Buzz guy now.
I'm a Buzz guy.
I think I'm a Buzz. I'm a Buzz guy.
We are sheep. It is confirmed.
Yeah.
Now I was an MD3 Buzz combo guy for a while, but then my MD3 got too beat up. So now I'm just a Buzz guy.
Wow. 6-speed. We can end with this one. We can save the other half maybe for next week.
What? We don't have to. We still got 13 minutes if you don't want to.
Oh. Okay, let's do it.
Okay. Well, yeah.
6-speed.
Time out to Discraft, guys. He has his own brand. All right, back to the game.
Wow. Who would? Who heard that?
Let's do the second half next week. Let's do the second half next week. I want to talk about this.
Okay.
Well, but I'm thinking I was just gonna name this video our favorite disc from each speed. That's a good video idea.
All right, let's just take a break. We'll take a quick break.
Quick break.
Talk about it for a few seconds.
I'm seething.
Yeah, we keep interrupting him. All right, you got this.
Me?
Yes, speed 6. I thought you were saying something.
Oh, speed 6. I thought we were. This is a podcast, guys. We've been doing this for almost a year. I love this. This is what brings character to the show. 6-speed. No one saw this coming. Leopard. I threw Craven because you got to throw something in there that people are a big fan of. And then Coxe. Castoplast.
I don't think I want a 6-speed. Can I say no?
What? This isn't in your bag, Jay Millie. This is literally our favorite speed from each speed.
You're so funny. You're such a analytical dude where you're actually, I don't believe in 6 speeds. We're like, okay.
So it's Leopard. What can you give them to me again?
Leopard, Crave, and Coxe.
Oh, okay. Cax. Okay. I'll go Leopard. It's what I throw. It's probably my favorite 6-speed.
I've never thrown a Leopard, so I'll go Crave.
You're a liar.
And I've enjoyed the Crave, so.
You've never thrown a Leopard in your life?
I have never thrown a Leopard.
Wow. Yeah, that disc is pooped on. That's go-to meme disc for some reason because everyone starts with it.
I'm lying. I've thrown a DX Leopard, and it was one of the first discs I ever threw. And that's why I've never thrown it since then, is because the second I got any torque, that thing was a paper plate.
So you got to do Star Leopards, they're them. I mean, James Proctor throws Infinite's Leopard phenomenally. I forget what it's called.
Leopard?
I forget.
Oh, no. We're put on the spot. I
forget what it is exactly, but I think it's literally the Leopard mold or something like that. Just Infinite disc or close. I don't really know.
I think it's the Eagle L mold, top and anyways, no one cares about this.
Yeah. Something I know it's something with the Leopard.
I would go Cax actually, just because I threw Kiara's and I was like, hold up, this disc is incredible. Good time. All right, Ken Climo, guys. Climo.
We made it.
Kenneth Klimbus. Did you guys watch the video, the announcement?
I did. I watched both videos.
Cool. And
yes. Oh yeah, I can talk about it.
What are you thinking?
One of the main reasons I wanted to talk about it was because I'm selfish and I wanted to be like, hey, I feel like I called this. I feel like I remember mentioning that it would only make sense for Kenneth Climo to leave Innova if he was going to get his own brand of discs. I feel like I made a lot of takes, so maybe this was just like I shotgun shelled a bunch of things and one of them hits, and now I feel like I'm big man on campus. But I feel like I said something like this, and I was like, when I saw this, I was like, yep, this makes sense. He's got his own brand of discs. So for context, those listening, King Climo, 13 time or 12 time?
12 time, you scrub.
I'm stupid. Soon to be 13 time world champion after this year. So sorry, 12 time world champion with Innova Discs for 30 years. Announced his departure a couple months ago. Announced his signing or partnership with Discraft a few days ago or a week ago or so, and dropped a video about it. It was a pretty sick video. You should go give it a watch. It's on his YouTube channel now. And then yesterday or today dropped a video about how he's not signed to Discraft. Instead, they are like his manufacturing partner, and he now has his own brand of discs called Climo Disc Golf, which are coming out tomorrow at the time of recording, today at the time of listening. But pretty crazy. What do you guys think he's going to drop right out the gate?
It has to be a putter mold. I would imagine any like Casey plastic type mold. I would imagine he's going to do his own modified version for each of those. So like modified AVR-ish disc, modified rock-ish disc. I don't know. You guys think that he's doing like a full lineup, quote unquote, like 4, maybe like one kind of for each like slot?
Yeah, I think it'll probably be 10, 15 discs. I don't think he's going to... Oh my goodness. I don't think he's going to do like 100.
Calm down.
Go ahead.
No, I meant initially.
Oh, initially. Oh.
Yeah, I meant initially. Just kind of like, okay, maybe he's doing like putter, mid, fairway,
6
distance driver, or maybe they're instead just going to like really lay out the carpet for each individual release so it gets the most like time for it to like shine.
Here's my leading theory. Paul Macbeth, I think he only drop a disc every world championship or something, right? When he first signed, he had 5 discs, and then when he got his 6th,
it's just like it's just lucky it happens like that. Like when he dropped the Athena, it's 6 letters, and then he won the world championship after.
But has he dropped the disc since the Athena?
The Kratos.
Yeah.
Ooh, you're right. Well, I was gonna say that he's gonna do 12 discs because he has 12 world titles, but maybe that's incorrect.
We can't talk, man.
I can't talk tonight. Cannot talk tonight. Yeah, I mean that's probably not gonna happen if that's not something Paul already did. I bet it's gonna be 3 discs. I bet it's gonna be a putter, mid range, and driver. I am interested. Like, I would love for them to get into the nitty gritty about it, because in the video he talks about how him and Bob Julio started talking back in early 2024. So this has been in the works for a very long time.
Chess.com.
It's pretty impressive that they've been able to keep it under wraps for so long, because when the news finally dropped, it was like, whoa,
what?
Like, holy cow. So if it started early 2024, there was a tight lid on this. Very impressive. But past that, I wonder if that means or I hope it means that these discs have been in, design, production, whatever, for 6 months, 8 months, I'm sure it means that, but I'd be really interested to hear them talk about it, like how much time went into each of these. I really hope it's not just oh yeah, here's the old Wasps mold, here's the old whatever mold.
It'll be new stuff. Has to be.
We can talk. I think we should talk about this in another episode. I personally am not a big fan of the leasing of molds. I think it's kind of silly. So I hope that's not what happens with Climo Disc Golf.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. I think the idea is cool as like a collector sort of idea where you're like, I'm in the know because they combine these parts of each disc. Or I know people have talked about the Mustang from Mint being like nearly the exact same disc as the Pathfinder from Thought Space Athletics. I
Yes.
haven't felt a Mustang in like a very long time, but if that's true, I at the end of the day, I'm sure they're proud of the disc, but yeah, that's tough. Where
Here's
you're
the
like,
thing. Here's the thing. I'm kind of agree with you in the same sentiment. If it's like Hooligan Discs, their initial yeet was literally the Lone Star Disc Warbird, and I'm like, that's just
and
that's just
it
not
said
good brand
Warbird on the bottom,
separation.
right?
Yeah. But I'm personally okay with if like a Surge goes, or a retooled Surge gets renamed in something in the climate, or something that
Ooh.
has been on the vault, on the shelf, and gets retooled and it gets a new life in Climo's lineup. I'm okay with that.
If it's a new disc, I like it. If it is a disc that has existed before, I am not a fan. Like, part of the reason I'm kind of heated about this is in Bodanza's last video, he compared the new thought space putter disc, might be the Praxis or something, and supposedly, it's made by MVP. Mint Discs is made by MVP, and supposedly it's just a bullet. Like, they're the same mold. I just like, I don't know. I'm personally not a fan of that. Like, it just feels like
It feels lazy. Let's just
all
say
I'll
it.
say
Yeah.
is wait till you see what Thought Space comes up with at Disc East. If you're not a fan of that,
if it's a new mold, heck yeah. But if it's a mold someone's used
it's a new
before,
mold.
Okay, that's very cool. I like that. The disc golf market is already saturated with enough discs. If we're just going to start cloning discs that are already existing, I just think it's silly, and I think it makes it more confusing for a beginner. There we go. All right, those are my thoughts on Climo going to Discraft and his potential new disc lineup. Do you guys have anything else?
I love it. I honestly love it. I love everything about it. I think it's super cool, and shout out Ken Climo. He's getting involved with the sport again. I mean, it's going to be super awesome.
How do we make discs more appealing at this point? Because we come up with new molds, we do them in new plastics, different stamps, and at the end of the day, the market is saturated, and unless something crazy comes out like this where Ken Climo is putting out a disc, I feel like people just generally don't care right now. It's kind of like the idea of other hobbies that you may enjoy, like before we started the show, Ben showed me a Pokemon card that he had. So, as we all know through Brixton and other Pokemon, Lorcana. I sound like a noob. Like, a lot of people enjoy these things and they like to pull like rare cards. Could we do that with something like in the same way in disc golf? I mean, we kind of do now, but it doesn't feel like it's working from the outside perspective. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I mean, you saw. I think disc golf has the most potential to do something cool stuff, different plastics and stuff like that. I mean, I know personally the VIP disc at Discies, not to shout it out, but it's going to be something the disc golf world has never seen. So I think there's been a lot of that. I mean, you just saw another round with the North Cove Lunas. Obviously, it was a reissue, but I think there is a lot of
the world has never seen those.
Well, I'm saying like
there's
so much potential, and for a long time, at least as when like I started in the sport, it felt like it was working where it's like new ledgestone drop, or whatever drop there was, and then eventually it's like, okay, there's too much going on. I can't put all my focus towards things. So how do we start? Like, are there other things that we can do to like make discs more appealing and make people care about them? I think really have an answer, but
I think we're in the phase of disc golf right now where I think we've talked about this before, where it's like, spike and then level out. Like, I think we're in a spike of people making discs, new manufacturers, new techniques, things like that. And I think the fat is going to get trimmed out in the next year or 2 years of manufacturers that can't pay their players, that have to legit, close up shop and stop making discs or scale back or, do whatever. So I think we're in that phase. I think in terms of making appealing discs, I think it's, like golf, they make new golf clubs and stuff. Like, I think there's always going to be a market for new technologies, new discs, new whatever in the space. But I think it's going to scale back to more like, okay, here are just the basics. Here are our best performers. Here are our best discs. Here are the stock. And we are going to come out with a new thing every few years. Like, I think that's going to be what it comes to eventually. And it'll probably come to eventually 10 or 15 successful manufacturers and all this fat outside of it.
Do you think that what is an outside company that is not currently making discs? Which one do you think would be the most likely to come in and start making their own disc golf discs?
Because like someone already making stuff, or what are you asking?
I'm talking about like an outside, let's say like sporting company or something like that they make other sports equipment, but they're just not, maybe they're aware of disc golf, but they just don't see the value in coming into it yet. Like, is there one that comes to mind that you're like, I could see them coming in and starting to like make discs, or maybe there's one that you would like to do that. Like maybe you look at Nike and you're like, that would be fresh, but that's kind of like the easy one to pick.
Yeah, I feel like we've talked about this a little bit. There has to be some reason that they are better than what's already around. We like what we have already is great. Discraft is great. MVP is great. Trash Panda is great. All of these there's a lot of great manufacturers. So if someone's going to come into the sport and disrupt and make some noise, they need to have something unique. And so, like, there isn't really someone that comes to mind. If it's going to be some random sporting company, they have to have something that's so innovative that I want to buy them, that is interesting enough. I feel like something that does come to mind is lift discs. Like every time they make a disc, it's unique. It's different. They're trying stuff. Kind of same with Clash.
I honestly forgot about them.
Yeah, like I feel like that's what you gotta try to do. And then in terms of like maybe an established brand that would like make a crossover make sense, yeah, like maybe like Nike or someone who already deals with plastics that we might know about. Like I don't know, I'm not really thinking of any in particular, but like
I put you on the spot.
Like the transition would just like make sense. Like they already have a market share in some other bigger sport, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I trust them for my basketballs, Wilson. I'll trust them for my discs as well, maybe like Franklin.
I would love it. And like anything that's adding to it, sure, it's saturated, but it's at least something different and could make for cool innovation. So it sounds like a lot of buyers rely on story, which is like a broad overarching theme of whether it's someone's like, okay, Paul Macbeth has won all these world championships, like Climo won 12 world championships, or even like someone does a custom stamp and there's like a meaning behind it. Maybe it's to like benefit some cause. So things like that draw in more people typically. It sounds like what you're saying is if like an outside company came in, it would have to be more reliant on like innovation and technology for people to be like, oh, this is something different and no one else is doing this yet. Let's check it out.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that. Oh, what? Franklin's making discs again. I did not know that. After all the hate,
I'm gonna get sponsored. But that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna get you gotta sunglasses. Hit up Franklin. You gotta do it.
Do what you gotta do.
All right. Well,
last 6 discs.
Yeah. Do you want to do the last 6 or save them for next week?
It's up to you guys.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
So
7
you get your
speeds.
thumbnail.
7 speed. Eagle, FD, and a little bit of a different one, the Glory, because Isaac is now over on Latitude. I don't know if you guys have thrown the Glory. Yeah, we'll do T-Bird / Eagle.
Yeah,
or we said that we could add ours now.
I'm gonna pick FD. I like the FD a lot. I think it's, I don't know. I feel like it's a faster buzz, just straight. You can get it to do what you want it to do. I think it feels good in the hand. I like the FD.
I'll go Glory to be different because I do like that disc, and it's in terms of like a 7 speed. I've never seen. Well, I guess there's like a couple MVP discs that are really slow fairways that are very overstable, but the Glory is kind of a beef dog, so kind of cool in that way. Unique. 8 speeds. Passion, T-Bird 3, and Volt. What would you choose?
T-Bird 3.
T-Bird 3.
I think I've said all in about pretty much other than the zone.
To be expected, though.
Yeah, I would pick the T-Bird 3. That was one of the first discs I ever had.
That disc is so good, even though passions are basically a religion at this point.
Passions are garbage, and I stand by that.
That's fine. I'm not even going to touch that.
Passion,
yeah, no, dude, he's been.
I think Passion is my least favorite
heaters.
disc, and I'm so serious.
Your least favorite disc? Wow.
If you go, you can track this back to a YouTube video. My 2023 in the bag. I have 5 discs in my hate section, and it is a Passion, a Pig, and I don't know, something else. Do not like the Passion or the Pig.
You heard it here first, folks. 9 speed. This is where it starts to get into like weird territory of like different stabilities. No, I didn't do Firebird because I wanted to try to like diversify between companies. I don't want.
I'll do that.
But you can say Firebird. That's fine.
I'll play a game with this one.
Thunderbird Raptor FX4.
Thunderbird's a 10 speed, I thought.
No.
What?
It's a 9 speed. Yeah.
My life has been a lie?
Your life's a lie. Wait, what'd you say, Josh? Did you say Thunderbird?
No, Raptor.
Okay. I thought you said that, and I was like, wait, this man has Raptors in his bag.
I will say Thunderbird was one of my first loves, but I lost my Thunderbird, and then I didn't buy a new one, and so it's been out of the bag forever. So
that was me with Raptors.
If anyone wants to get me a Thunderbird, feel free. I'll try it again.
My first Raptor was a Big Z Raptor, and it was really gummy and the straightest Raptor I've ever seen in my life. Like I would throw it, and people are like, "Oh, it's a really cool, like straight fairway." I'm like, "That's a Raptor." It was like the fun thing, and they're like, "No, it's not." So I missed that.
I'll go with a Color Glow Savant.
Color Glow Savant. Ooh, I don't mind that pick,
dude. I thought a Thunderbird was a 10 speed all my life. This is actually wild. I can't believe
this guy runs a disc golf expo. Doesn't even know the Thunderbird.
Well,
speed.
I feel like I follow the logic. It goes Firebird, Thunderbird, Wraith, Destroyer.
And because Thunderbird's like a PD to me. It's the same thing, and I'm pretty sure PD is a 10 speed. I mean, I think
the PD's what, like 10404. The Thunderbird's like 9502 or something, right?
Well, I thought it was like 10. I don't pay attention to flying. Is the PD 10404?
No, it's 10403 or something.
Oh, it might be 3 then.
That's what I thought the Firebird was. That's why. I just never looked at their.
You mean the numbers. Thunderbird?
Yeah, Thunderbird.
Speaking of PDs, 10 speeds, PD Trail, very popular disc this year. Vulture,
PD. I'm just listing my bag of what I throw.
I don't know. I haven't thrown a Trail, but I feel like it'd be my favorite. I like the Vulture. The thing with the PD for me is like the rim kind of like it like concaves, and it feels very weird in my hand on a forehand, so I don't really like it.
Yeah, I guess I can see where that comes from,
but I don't like the feel.
Have you thrown the Gorgon?
I have not thrown the Gorgon. No.
Okay, well that's like the exact same. Like the way that it flies, the exact same way as the Trail.
Okay.
So
cool.
Yeah, really, really good. Yeah, I would go PD because like I have the PD in my bag and I enjoy it very much. 11, Wraith, Drive, and Grace.
Wraith. This is literally just my bag.
I have to say Wraith. Graces are cool. Never thrown a drive, but I've seen that they're like a bit flippier than Wraiths. It seems like.
I've never thrown a drive either. I just buy off the F2 store. That's why my bag's Innova. I lose so many discs that I'd actually be bankrupt if I bought regular.
Someone, yeah, all the like when divers go into the water at MVP Open, half the discs that they pull out are bends.
Yeah, literally though.
That's hilarious. Obviously, I'm picking Wraith. I mean, it wasn't a question. I haven't thrown either of the other discs, so
12 speed, almost there. Destroyer, Cloudbreaker, Force.
Destroyer.
I think there's a reason that that's like a pretty much dead giveaway for
everyone.
Like pretty much like 80%
unless you're
of
forced
disc
to throw a different thing.
I think I'll go Force. That was my first love for a distance driver.
You're telling me you don't throw the Destroyer?
I throw one of my favorite discs right now is my Halo Destroyer, but my Force was my first love for sure.
Yeah, I do love the Cloudbreaker, but I can't not pick the Destroyer. Oh no, dude! I didn't pick a third one for 13 speeds. Just insert whatever here.
Boss.
Nuke and Boss.
Octane.
Octane, go for it. Yeah, you said that you like that disc.
It kind of just feels like I picked a MVP driver that is the Octane, and I threw it, and I realized, like, I feel like the reason I like it so much is because I came in expecting not to like it, and then I really liked it, and so now that's magnified even more because I expected not to like it. So I really, 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 really like the Octane. I will say I wish it had a little bit more dome to it, a little more glide, but flies very nice and feels good in my hand, so it's a great disc.
I didn't want to like the Venom because I thought it was just like a hype beast disc, and then I found one on the course this past week. I threw it. I thought it was going to be a hog. Was not at all. Very workable.
Hog, I love that. I actually love that.
Very workable, and it cruises. Was a big fan of it. But yeah, I would choose Boss as well. They're fun.
Yeah, I throw a Boss sometimes more than Destroyer. I really like it.
Yeah, like I said, not going 14 speeds. That's it, y'all. To you boys and the
35
listeners.
Speed.
35 speed, dude. That's the innovation that's going to come in from an outside
Arobi
manufacturer.
Epic. That's my favorite 35
speed. 15 speed from Loof Discs, whatever that one. I think they claimed it as 15.
Yeah, the Boreum, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's my favorite 15.
There we go.
Good stuff here, guys.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
I'll close this out.
Amazing episode.
Guys,
thanks for listening, y'all.
We're really coming into our own. We can't talk half the time.
This was a crazy episode. This was definitely a crazier episode.
Yeah, we stutter. We get on each other's case, but we have fun at the end of the day. And hopefully you guys have fun as well. Thanks for listening. And please subscribe. Like, I said that backwards. Funsie out.
Funsie.